So I seen on YouTube a lot where people do the draw my life thing, and they always have their little sappy story how it was so sad. But when you really listen to them, most of them had really pretty decent lives growing up. They only kept getting better and better. Like a few minor bumps in the road, but all in all, it was a pretty smooth ride. And I always wonder why people are always like crying over that. Oh, I'm so sorry for you, and really wasn't that bad. Well, I can't draw, but figured, you know, I'm on YouTube. I might as well do my story, right? And everything I say in this is 100% true. I assure you that. I made nothing up. And, anyways, this is my life story. So, I grew up in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It was me, my mom, my dad, and my brother, and we were poor. We were pretty poor, like really poor. Like there were Christmases where we really didn't get anything because we just couldn't afford it, and you know we just got by like that a lot. And they did the best for what they could, and it is what it is. You know, my mom ended up becoming very crippled because of arthritis. It was really bad. She can't really walk, and you know that kind of was hard too, because it ain't like we could go anywhere or do anything. And my brother was a kind of an asshole to me. Like he bullied me a lot, and he actually beat me up a lot, and we never really had a good relationship. And to this day, we still don't get along. And whatever, it is what it is yet again. And so yeah, like in my teenage years, I didn't have any friends growing up. It was hard for me to, you know, talk to people. I've always had bad anxiety and severe depression, and I just I don't know. I never really got along with anyone. Nobody ever really just gelled. So like in my teenage years, I was a really depressed teenager. Sorry for coughing a lot and like that. So in my teenage years, I was very depressed a lot, and since I didn't have any friends around really, and you know, my family wasn't really comforting. You know, my parents tried their best. I'll give them that, but you know, my brother wasn't there, and I didn't have a whole lot of places to turn. So I basically turned to drugs, and I did a lot of drugs. And it wasn't just weed, and I mean, I smoked a lot of weed, but I huffed a lot. I mean, I did a lot of inhalants, a lot of cocaine, just pills and pills and pills, tons of pills, you know, mushrooms, everything I could get. I mean, I also drank constantly, just finding some way to feel something other than shit all the time. And that kind of fucked me up. I mean, that I'm probably suffering from a lot of like internal brain damage from that. I don't know, because I don't feel like a normal person, and I assume it's because of that. Like I don't think very well, I don't speak very well, and even doing this is kind of difficult. And I assume a lot of it is because of all the drugs I did. But yeah, so I did a shit ton of drugs, and in my high school days, I only had one real friend. His name was Brian, and he was like a brother to me, and he was fucking awesome. And me and him, you know, we got high a lot together, drunk, and he was a lot like me. He didn't really have anyone else, and we really were like brothers, and we got into a lot of trouble. Like I don't just mean like, oh, them damn kids kind of trouble. I mean like we were in and out of jail constantly, always committing crimes, just trying to get by, just however the hell we could. Trying to get by and trying to get high. That's pretty much it. And so the teenage years were rough, and I eventually dropped out of school. I didn't make it very far. I was like ninth grade. I dropped out, and kind of regret that. I could have done better, but I just didn't care at the time. And yeah, so eventually I was just doing drugs, partying all the time, being a real piece of shit. And my parents decided that they were going to move to a cheaper place, and I couldn't go with, and I had nowhere to go. And all my money went to drugs, so I ended up being homeless at that time. And instead of trying to find a place to live, all I tried to find was more drugs. And that was rough. I mean, that was really rough because I spent my birthday homeless. I spent a winter homeless, and it's not easy. It sucks. And eventually, I did find some cheap ass, shitty fucking apartment. And it wasn't in a really bad neighborhood, but the apartment itself was really fucking ghetto and shitty. Like, the previous tenant was actually my drug dealer. And so, he knew where I lived. And it was just a roach filled piece of shit. But it was something. I had something. And I was trying to put shit together. And I kind of cut back a little on the drugs. And then my house got robbed. And literally all the little bit of shit that I had left got stolen from me. And that put me in a fucked up place. And I kind of turned to drugs a lot more again. Because that was all I really knew at the time. And because of that, I couldn't pay my rent, and I didn't give a shit. And I ended up being homeless again. And just, my friend Brian, he tried to help me out as much as he could. And I always appreciated that, but it wasn't easy for him either. He had shit going on in his own life, and I'll never fault him for not being there, because he was always there. And yeah, eventually, though, I saved up a little money and I bought a cheap car. It was I believe, a 1989 Oldsmobile Cutlass Calais. And it was only like $300, and it was a real piece of junk. But that car was my house. I lived in that car. And honestly, I kind of enjoyed it. I liked the freedom. I could just go wherever and do whatever. No responsibilities, and just get high in my car and just. But it was dangerous though. I mean, I was basically still living on the streets of Milwaukee outside. It was not safe at all, and I made a lot of enemies down there. So, yeah. And one day, friend at the time, who turned out to be an enemy in disguise, which aren't they all, almost, and I'm not going to mention his name at all because he doesn't even deserve his name being mentioned. And he had a girlfriend who lived up north. It was like 3 hours from Milwaukee in some small hick town I've never heard of. And he wanted to go visit her, and since I lived in a car, I had a vehicle. And I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go up there. So we drove up there 3 hours north to some place I've never been, out in the middle of nowhere. And I absolutely fell in love with it. The whole environment of just calm and peacefulness and nature. I love nature, and just everything about it it spoke to me. I loved it. It was so calming and so relaxing. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel like I had to constantly look over my shoulder. And it was just peaceful. And I knew right then and there that I wanted to stay there. And I did. I didn't move back. I found a place to stay. And it wasn't long after coming up that I met my girlfriend. And yeah, I was only up here for a few days actually when I met her. And a couple days after that, I asked her out. She said, yeah, surprisingly. And that actually filled me with a lot of hope, considering that I was in a place where I finally felt relaxed and comfortable and peaceful. And then I had somebody with me who actually appreciated being with me. It filled me with hope for like basically the first time in my life. And so I didn't need the drugs anymore. And I actually quit all the drugs. And I still drink a little bit, not a lot, but, you know, who doesn't have a drink here or there? And things are going fine until I got a call saying that my best friend, Brian, he died. And that's what, I don't know if you can see it, but this tattoo, if you've ever seen it in my videos and wondered what it was, that's my tribute for him. And what happened was he got really fucked up at a party, really drunk, and supposedly he passed out on the railroad tracks and a train hit him. And that's a really fucked up way to go. And that fucked me up so bad. And by the time I even heard of that, the funeral had already happened. So I couldn't even go down there for the funeral. And that hit me so hard. I mean, like, I've had people die in my life. I've had friends die before. I've had family die. But there was like a brother to me. And to this day, it still hurts a lot. And it's been quite a few years since then. But that pain doesn't ever go away. And that put me in a spiral again. I got back into a really dark place, and I didn't do the drugs again, but I did drink a lot, and I was really fucking my life up and just drinking it away, and something had to change. So eventually, like, the pain started to ease a little. You never really get over that, but it does you kind of get numb to it after a while. And you just kind of learn to live again. And I kept thinking, like, if I was going to keep drinking the way I was drinking, I wasn't going to last very long either. And as much as I wanted to see him again, I don't want to do it in the afterlife. So I really, really cut back on drinking, and to the point where it's only like once or twice a year, if even. It's basically like New Year's and shit like that. And so I'm trying to get my life together now, and here I am, 34 years old, really nothing going on in my life, never accomplished anything. And I mean, like, I'm happy with what I have. I'm happy with my girlfriend who stuck with me for 12 years. You know, thank you for that. And I'm happy for where I am because I love it here. I absolutely love it here. But I feel like there's so much more I could do or that I should do. And I feel like I've been given a second chance to do something better because I kind of wasted most of my life just being a piece of shit. And so that's kind of why I started this YouTube channel. And I know a lot of people don't care for the weapons thing, but that's pretty much all I really know about. And one thing I'd really like to do is entertain people. I love making people laugh. Like, I'm a very shy person when you meet me, but when you get to know me, I'm an idiot. I like to do stuff to make people laugh. I'm constantly clowning around, and that's what I wanted my channel to be, because I love cool weapons and stuff like that. That's why I do a lot of weapons review, because I just love that kind of shit. I collect a lot of it. But at the same time, I also like doing funny stuff. That's why I do a lot of the dumb, funny skits. And I know this channel's not very big at this moment of recording, and we only got like 36 subscribers. But I'm hoping that it gets bigger, because this is something I really, really want to do. And I really, truly appreciate every one of you that takes the time to watch a video or share a link or click the subscribe button. It means the absolute world to me that somebody's actually taking the time, looking past this ugly face, and actually enjoying the videos that I'm putting out there. And like I said, that means the absolute world to me. And thank you for that. And if I can keep doing this, then I kind of feel like I'm doing something in my life, like it's being fulfilled, and I want to keep doing this. This has become a passion of mine, and I've talked about doing it for so long, and I'm finally putting an effort into it, and I'm going into it with literally nothing. I got one camera that I'm using that I really hope lasts because I can't afford another. I got one computer that's kind of on its last leg, so uploading is a pain in the ass, but I I want to entertain you, and I hope that you find entertainment in my videos. Whether you're here for the weapons reviews, or here for the comedy skits, or just here for the vlogs, or just randomly stumbled across it, like, who the hell is this weird fucker or something. I don't care why you're here. I'm just glad you're here. And I'm glad I get to share my experiences with you, and that you get to see what I love to do. And just thank you for being there. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it touches somebody out there. Like, if anyone's dealing with drugs or alcohol or depression, help them. Don't just ignore it. Seriously, help them, because it is rough. And when you're going through it by yourself and you think no one's there for you, it is absolutely hell. So help people. Seriously, if I can help anybody out there, feel free to reach out to me, whether you're a complete stranger or if I've known you forever. If you see this video and feel like you're in the same situation that I was in, please, by all means, feel free to reach out to me, because I will be there for you. I absolutely will. And with that being said, this video is going on quite a bit longer than I expected, so I'm going to cut it here. And thank you guys for being there. Thank you for listening to me. And if you have anything else you want to add, let me know in the comments down below.